This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Harris. I've got some great side dishes and salads that I'd love to share with you. Welcome to On the Side. This noodle cake is great as a side dish along any stir fry or teriyaki chicken that you're making. It's got lots of fresh Asian noodles, scallions, and grated carrot, and we sear it on both sides so it's got a nice crispy crust. Now, our noodle cake is made with fresh Chinese noodles, and they come in a package like this in the refrigerator section of the store that I shop at. And what they are is they're almost like a fresh pasta. They look very much like this, and sometimes they even have thin noodles and wide noodles. Now, for this dish, I prefer the thin noodles. Now, I've brought one of my saucepans over here to the stove, and I have it on high heat. I've got it filled with water, and I'm going to bring this to a boil. So my water is boiling. I'm just going to put in about a teaspoonful of salt, and then I'm going to take the noodles and I'm going to put them right in the water. Now, I always use tongs to kind of help move the noodles around because I don't want them to cook in a clump. So once I kind of get those moved around, then I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 3 minutes. That's as long as these will need to cook. Now, if you find they start to bubble up like this, you can either just pull it off the heat for a second or go ahead and turn your temperature down. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the noodles off the sink. I'm going to take my colander and go over to the sink and drain these well. So I've got my noodles here, and I'm going to add some vegetables to it right away. So what I'm going to do is I've got 2 green onions, and I'm going to go ahead and thinly run a blade through those. And I'm going to go ahead and put those right in the hot noodles. And I'm just going to put in about 2 handfuls of grated carrot as well. So now I have my tongs, and I'm going to toss these vegetables in with these hot noodles. Now, these noodles are going to get sticky, which is fine for what we're going to be doing. But I do want to mix the scallion and the carrot in with them while they're warm. Okay, so now we're going to cook our noodle cake. Now, I'm using about a 12-inch non-stick skillet, and the non-stick really works great for this, and I have it over a medium heat. And now I'm just going to put a couple of tablespoons of canola oil in the bottom, and I'm just going to kind of move it around in the pan. Now, the oil is nice and hot, so I'm going to take my noodles and I'm going to go ahead and put them right into the pan, vegetables and all. And then I'm going to take my tongs and I'm going to flatten this out. I'm even going to use my hands a little bit. The noodles are nice and cool at this point. And I want to flatten this out into like a big pancake. Now I'm going to take my non-stick spatula and I'm going to go ahead and flatten these out. And these are just going to cook for about 2 or 3 minutes until they get a nice brown crust on the bottom. Now you can see here I'm getting a nice brown crust, so it's time to flip this over. And here's how I do it. I take a plate and I put it over the pan, and then I'm just going to use my towel and I'm going to flip it like this. And you can see it comes out nicely in one piece. I'm going to set that over to the side, and then I'm going to put just another tablespoon or so of canola oil in here, just to make sure that it slides around really easily for me. And then I'm just going to take this and slide it right back into the pan. And this is going to cook on this side for another 2 to 3 minutes. Now, while this is cooking on the second side, I'm just going to go ahead and flatten it with my spatula, because the more surface area those noodles have against that hot pan, the more crust I'm going to get, which tastes really good in this noodle cake. Okay, so our noodle cake is ready. Now all I'm going to do is take it off the heat, and I have a little cutting board here, and I'm just going to slide it onto the cutting board because I like to cut this into wedges, and if it's on a cutting board it makes it easier to do that. Well, this noodle cake is great. It's crispy on both sides and it tastes fantastic with any kind of Asian stir-fry dish you would do, or even teriyaki chicken. That's what I'm serving it with tonight. Well, if you'd like to give it a go at home, just go to our website and visit the On the Side show notes, and I'll have the recipe there for you. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. I'll see you next time.